all things today. God's healing voice protects all things today. Let us today attend the voice for God, which speaks an ancient lesson, no more true today than any other day. Yet has this day been chosen as the time when we will seek and hear and learn and understand. Join me in hearing, for the voice for God tells us of things we cannot understand alone or learn apart. It is in this that all things are protected, and in this the healing of the voice for God is found. Your healing voice protects all things today. And so I leave all things to you. I leave all things to you. I need be anxious over nothing. I need be anxious over nothing. For your voice will tell me what to do and where to go, to whom to speak and what to say, and what to say to him, what thoughts to think, what words to give the world. The safety that I bring is given me. Father, your voice protects all things through me. God's healing voice protects all things today. God's healing voice protects all things today. What is the Christ? Christ is God's Son as He created Him. He is the self we share, uniting us with one another and with God as well. He has not left. He is the thought which still abides within the mind that is His source. He has not left His holy home, nor lost the innocence in which He was created. He abides unchanged forever in the mind of God. Christ is the link that keeps you one with God and guarantees that separation is no more than an illusion of despair, for hope forever will abide in Him. Your mind is part of His and His of yours. He is the part in which God's answer lies, where all decisions are already made and dreams are over. He remains untouched by anything the body's eyes perceive, for though in Him His Father placed the means for your salvation, yet does He remain the self who, like His Father, knows no sin. Home of the Holy Spirit, and at home in God alone, does Christ remain at peace within the heaven of your holy mind. This is the only part of you that has reality and truth. The rest is dreams. Yet will these dreams be given unto Christ to fade before His glory and reveal your holy self, the Christ to you at last. The Holy Spirit reaches from the Christ in you to all your dreams and bids them come to Him to be translated into truth. He will exchange them for the final dream, which God appointed as the end of dreams. For when forgiveness rests upon the world and peace has come to every son of God, what could there be to keep things separate? For what remains to see except Christ's face? How long will this holy face be seen when it is but the symbol, the time for learning now is over, and the goal of the atonement has been reached at last. So therefore let us seek to find Christ's face and look on nothing else. As we behold his glory, will we know we have no need of learning, or perception, or of time, or anything except the holy self, the Christ, whom God created as his Son. God's healing voice protects all things today. God's healing voice protects all things today. Let us today attend the voice for God, which speaks an ancient lesson, no more true today than any other day. Yet has this day been chosen as the time when we will seek and hear, and learn and understand. Join me in hearing, for the voice for God tells us of things we cannot understand alone nor learn apart. It is in this that all things are protected, and in this the healing of the voice for God is found. God's healing voice protects all things today. God's healing voice protects all things today. Your healing voice protects all things today. And so I leave all things to you, I leave all things to you. I need be anxious over nothing, I need be anxious over nothing. For your voice will tell me what to do and where to go, to whom to speak and what to say to him, what thoughts to think, what words to give the world. The safety that I bring is given me today. Father, your voice protects all things through me. God's healing voice protects all things today. God's healing voice protects all things today. God's healing voice protects all things today. Well, thank you so much for joining me here on Lesson 275 of A Course in Miracles. We're reading from the Foundation for Inner Peace version here on Tuesday, October 1st of 2024. And we're also going to go take a look at Lesson 30. We're ready for Section 3, Chapter 30, The New Beginning. Beyond All Idols is Section 3. And I'm Miracle Willie, forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks, sitting in here in front of my Lactuca sativa patch. Beyond all idols. Idols are quite specific, but your will is universal, being limitless. And so it has no form, nor is content for its expression in the term of form. Excuse me, I said that wrong. Content. And so it has no form, nor is content for its expression in the terms of form. And so it has no form, nor is content for its expression in the terms of form. Idols are limits. They are the belief that there are forms that will bring happiness and that by limiting is all attained. It is as if you said, I have no need of everything. This little thing I want, and it will be as everything to me. And this must fail to satisfy, because it is your will that everything be yours. Decide for idols, and you ask for loss. Decide for truth, and everything is yours. 2. It is not form you seek. What form can be a substitute for God the Father's love? What form can take the place of all the love and the divinity of God the Son? What idol can make two of what is one? And can the limitless be limited? You do not want an idol. It is not your will to have one. It will not bestow on you the gift you seek. When you decide upon the form of what you want, you lose the understanding of its purpose. So you see your will within the idol, thus reducing it to a specific form. Yet this could never be your will, because what shares in all creation cannot be content with small ideas and little things. 3. Behind the search for every idol lies the yearning for completion. Catch that. Behind the search for every idol lies the yearning for completion. Wholeness has no form because it is unlimited. To seek a special person or a thing to add to you to make yourself complete can only mean that you believe some form is missing. And by finding this, you will achieve completion in a form you like. This is the purpose of an idol, that you will not look beyond it to the source of the belief that you are incomplete. Only if you had sinned could this be so, for sin is the idea you are alone and separated off from what is whole, and thus it would be necessary for the search for wholeness to be made beyond the boundaries of limits on yourself. And that particular paragraph, I'm not going to go back and reread it, but you might want to, paragraph 3, is really why we want relationships, but we want to be careful not to just get them because we think we're going to complete ourselves in form. Behind the search for every idol lies the yearning for completion. And that's good. He's going to get into that. It never is the idol that you want, but what you think it offers you, you want indeed and have the right to ask for. Nor could it be possible it be denied. Your will to be complete is but God's will, and this is given you by being His. God knows not form. He cannot answer you in terms that have no meaning. And your will could not be satisfied with empty forms made but to fill a gap that is not there. It is not this you want. Creation gives no separate person and no separate things the power to complete the Son of God. What idol can be called upon to give the Son of God what He already has? 5. Completion is the function of God's Son. Completion is the function of God's Son. He has no need to seek for it at all. Beyond all idols stands His holy will to be but what He is. For more than whole is meaningless. If there were change in Him, if He could be reduced to any form and limited to what is not in Him, He would not be as God created Him. What idol can He need to be Himself? For can He give a part of Him away? What is not whole cannot make whole, but what is really asked for cannot be denied. Your will is granted, not in any form that would content you not, but in the whole, completely lovely thought God holds of you. 6. Nothing that God knows not exists, and what He knows exists forever changelessly. Again on that, nothing that God knows not exists, and what He knows exists forever changelessly. That's why you can look at your brother when you think you see a sin and forgive it, because it doesn't really exist, because God knows not sin. For thoughts endure as long as does the mind that thought of them, and in the mind of God there is no ending, nor a time in which His thoughts were absent or could suffer change. Thoughts are not born and cannot die. They share the attributes of their Creator. nor have they a separate life apart from his. The thoughts you think are in your mind, as you are in the mind that thought of you. And so there are no separate parts in what exists within God's mind. It is forever one, eternally united and at peace. 7. Thoughts seem to come and go, yet all this means is that you are sometimes aware of them and sometimes not. An unremembered thought is born again to you when it returns to your awareness. Yet it did not die when you forgot it. It was always there, but you were unaware of it. The thought God holds of you is perfectly unchanged by your forgetting. It will always be exactly as it was before the time when you forgot, and will be just the same when you remember, and it is the same within the interval when you forgot. 8. The thoughts of God are far beyond all change, and shine forever. They await not birth, they wait for welcome and remembering. The thought God holds of you is like a star, unchangeable in an eternal sky. So high in heaven is it set that those outside of heaven know not it is there. Yet still and white and lovely will it shine through all eternity. There was no time it was not there, no instant when its light grew dimmer or less perfect ever was. 9. Who knows the Father knows this light, for he is the eternal sky that holds it safe, forever lifted up and anchored sure. Its perfect purity does not depend on whether it is seen on earth or not. The sky embraces it and softly holds it in its perfect place, which is as far from earth as earth from heaven. It is not the distance nor the time that keeps this star invisible to earth, but those who seek for idols cannot know the star is there. 10. Beyond all idols is the thought God holds of you, completely unaffected by the turmoil and the terror of the world, the dreams of birth and death that here are dreamed, the myriad of forms that fear can take, quite undisturbed. The thought God holds of you remains exactly as it always was, surrounded by a stillness so complete no sound of battle comes remotely near. It rests in certainty and perfect peace. Here is your one reality kept safe, completely unaware of all the world that worships idols and that knows not God. In perfect sureness of its changelessness and of its rest in its eternal home, the thought God holds of you has never left the mind of its Creator, whom it knows as its Creator knows that it is there. In the last paragraph, to finish this section, 11. Where could the thought God holds of you exist but where you are? Is your reality a thing apart from you, and in a world which your reality knows nothing of? Outside you there is no eternal sky, no changeless star, and no reality. The mind of heaven's Son in heaven is, for there the mind of Father and of Son joined in creation, which can have no end. You have not two realities but one, nor can you be aware of more than one. An idol, or the thought of God, holds of you is your reality. An idol, or the thought God holds of you, is your reality. Forget not, then, that idols must keep hidden what you are, not from the mind of God, but from your own. The star shines still. The sky has never changed. But you, the Holy Son of God Himself, are unaware of your reality. Well, we want to become aware of our reality. And another thing I wanted to kind of, as a recap about that whole section, let's go back and take a look. We got time. In that paragraph 3, behind the search for every idol lies the yearning for completion. Wholeness has no form because it is unlimited. To seek a special person or a thing to add to you, to make yourself complete, can only mean that you believe some form is missing. And by finding this, you will achieve completion in a form you like. This is the purpose of an idol, that you will not look beyond it, to the source of the belief that you are incomplete. Only if you had sinned could this be so, for sin is the idea you are alone and separated off from what is whole, and thus it would be necessary for the search for wholeness to be made beyond the boundaries of limits on yourself. It never is the idol that you want. And what you think it offers you, you want indeed and have a right to ask for. Nor could it be possible to be denied. That was the first part of the next paragraph. What I wanted to kind of leave you with and kind of is this idea that if you feel like you need to go find something to be complete, stop. Stop in your tracks and say, okay, God, you said that I am complete. How come I feel like I need something else? And then look at that desire for needing something, because that is the bait to make you to want to find an idol, an antichrist, an illusion of your identity that you think will complete you. And we want to see our brothers and sisters as ourselves and with us as part of the one, a part of God. I mean, they have a blessing to give us, that's for sure. And you will need to receive that blessing. We want to receive it. If that's how does it say? In today's lesson, it says, God's healing voice protects all things today. Join me in hearing, for the voice for God tells us of things we cannot understand alone, nor learn apart. It is in this that all things are protected. When we realize that we need our brothers and sisters, because that's how we recognize there's only one of us, and that's why it's protected, because there's nothing contrary. There's no antithesis. There's nothing contrary, nothing against. Everything's in harmony. The voice for God, I think of it as the voice of peace. Am I at peace? Well, then that's my will right then. Do what my will wants to do when I'm at peace. You'll be really close, if not exactly hearing God's voice. As you get deeper and deeper into your peace, you'll hear God's voice clearer and clearer. Okay, well, let's see. What's going on around the world today? God's healing voice protects all things today. Well, let's see. Out of holidays and observances, it says it's CD player day, homemade cookies day, International Coffee Day. There's several species of the genera coffee. Coffee's the genera. But the two that are predominantly used for drinking purposes is Arabica and Canephora. And then International Day of Older Persons, International Music Day, International Raccoon Appreciation Day. The Procyon lotor is the scientific name for the raccoon. I had one. It's been about a year ago that Zorro, you all saw me with him. Well, he's, I haven't seen him anymore. He's the call of the wild. Called him. Less than perfect day. That's basically, being satisfied with things not being just the way you think they ought to be. That's kind of letting go and letting God mentality, I think. Less than perfect day. You're perfect when you realize that it can be a less than perfect day. Lincolnshire Day. That's a UK holiday, having it in the town of Lincolnshire. Black Dog Day. Fire Pup Day. Fruit at Work Day, Hair Day, Lace Day, Walk Your Dog Day, Pudding Season begins, Vegan Baking Day, Willy Wonka Day, World Ballet Day, and World Vegetarian Day. And I wanted to tell you, our word for peace today will be out of the Chechen language of the Northern Caucasus of Russia, and is Masher. So Masher be with you. Peace be with you, Masher. And I wanted to tell you about the dazzling blue kale, the Brassica oleracea, which I've got some planted at the very end of this. You can't barely see them. They're not very big. And it says here that it says dazzling blue kale. This is from Baker's Creek Heirloom Seeds. This smoky blue lacinato type kale has become a favorite of gardeners and market farmers. Bred by Hank Keogh of Avoca Farms, it is a prime example of the renaissance in modern open source plant breeding. Unparalleled cold hardiness and fantastic purple and blue leaves. Best grown in frost or spring or fall. Isn't that something? In the frosts of spring and fall. Direct seed or transplant 2 to 4 weeks in spring, or 8 weeks in fall before frost dates. Prefers rich soil. Anyway, that's your dazzling blue kale. And let's close with our song, and thank you again for joining me today. Be sure to tell yourself every hour today, God's healing voice protects all things today. And take a longer period in the morning and the evening to let your thoughts be still and find your peace. God's healing voice protects all things today. God's healing voice protects all things today. Let us today attend the voice for God, which speaks an ancient lesson, no more true today than any other day. Yet has this day been chosen as the time when we will seek and hear and learn and understand. Join me in hearing, for the voice for God tells us, and tells us of things we cannot understand alone nor learn apart. It is in this that all things are protected, and in this the healing of the voice for God is found. God's healing voice protects all things today. God's healing voice protects all things today. Your healing voice protects all things today. And so I leave all things to you. I leave all things to you. I need be anxious over nothing. I need be anxious over nothing. For your voice will tell me what to do and where to go, to whom to speak and what to say to him, to whom to speak and what to say, what thoughts to think, what words to give, what words to give the world. That safety that I bring is given me, is given me. The safety that I bring is given me. Father, your voice protects all things through me. God's healing voice protects all things today. God's healing voice protects all things today. God's healing voice protects all things today. Masher.